Hello everybody, grammar guru Zoe back again with a new lesson. All of these lessons are inspired by mistakes I see online, and this one has been particularly rampant recently. Today we're going to be talking about when to use number versus when to use amount versus when to use quantity. The mistake I see a lot looks like this. The amount of times I tried to take this picture is silly. The number of people who don't know that this should be the number of times I had to try to take this picture instead of the amount of times is silly. The golden rule is that you use the word number for things that you can count, such as people, M&Ms, occurrences, pages, lemons, users. Use the word amount for things that you cannot count, fear, love, water, air, anxiety, coffee, happiness. Number is for count nouns and amount is for mass nouns that you cannot count. If you can count the thing like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even if it's millions and billions of, say, people or users or times, you have to use number. If you incorrectly use amount when you should use number, it can be very, very distracting to people who know this rule. So people in your workplace or in your social sphere. Sometimes when we say it out loud using amount when it should be number, it sounds correct. Like, I can't believe the amount of alligators we saw in Florida. It kind of sounds right. It's not. I can't believe the number of alligators we saw in Florida is correct. The amount of bachelorette parties downtown right now is crazy. The number of bachelorette parties downtown right now is crazy. You can count them. How can we increase the amount of users on our site? Kind of sounds right. It's not. How can we increase the number of users on our site? Also correct would be, how can we increase the amount of traffic on our site? Traffic, in a general sense, is not countable. This is a great transition into now when to use amount. If you cannot count the thing in a 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of way, like traffic, that's a general noun, you have to use amount. You would not believe the amount of traffic downtown right now. We go through a huge amount of coffee in this office. Coffee? Can't count it. The amount of starlight you get out west is astonishing. Starlight, in a general sense, is not countable, so you would use amount. And to bring this rule full circle, let's look at those examples that I just said written out with countable nouns. You would not believe the number of cars downtown right now. Kind of getting your point across in a similar way, but we say number because you can count the cars. We go through a huge number of K-cups at the office. So instead of coffee, now we're saying K-cups because you can count those K-cups, you would say number. The number of stars you can see out west is astonishing. Even though you would never be able to count the stars in the sky, you technically could count them. They're individual things, so it has to be number. One should use the word quantity. Quantity is more formal than both amount and number. So quantity of or quantities of are usually followed by something that's tangible and inanimate, okay? Something that you can touch. And it usually is found alongside adjectives like huge, like a huge quantity, a big quantity, a large quantity, small quantity, adjectives like that. Quantity can be used with countable and uncountable nouns. And it basically just makes your sentence sound a little bit more formal. Let's look at some examples. The new homeowners discovered a large quantity of old coins hidden under the floor. Since coins are countable, you could switch quantity to number and still be correct. So you could say the new homeowners discovered a large number of old coins. You only need a very small quantity of sugar in this recipe. You could also say you only need a very small amount of sugar in this recipe. It just kind of depends on what you want to sound like. Volunteers delivered huge quantities of food to the tornado victims. Since food is not countable, you could switch huge quantities to huge amounts and still be correct for that one as well. I'm just out here trying to decrease the number of embarrassing errors I see when it comes to grammar online. Tune in next month for another lesson. Hope you all have a wonderful day.